This one thing might completely get rid of your shoulder pain. Let me explain this to you. This is called the rule of the hand. If you've got any kind of shoulder problem, and I'm talking things like shoulder arthritis, osteoarthritis, a rotator cuff tear, shoulder impingement, a labrum tear, bursitis, tendinitis in the shoulder, even nerve problems in the shoulder can be helped by this. I call this a rule of the hand because you have to consider what your hand is doing. And this is a black and white rule. Like, you have to follow it exactly in order for you to get the benefit out of this. Now, the way this works, let me just give you some background anatomy knowledge, really simple to follow. This is a shoulder blade right here, and this is the upper arm bone. This right here is the collarbone, so this is the front right here. The ribs would be in this area, and they wrap around the front right here. And then here's your arm, upper arm bone. Ball and socket joint is inside, covered up by the rotator cuff muscles. That's what these red things are on top of the shoulder blade. They're the rotator cuff muscles. When you move your hand in any direction, like let's say you're reaching forward like this, so the arm bone's going to come out this way forward, what should be happening with your shoulder blade is your shoulder blade should be moving forward too. So the way it would look is your shoulder blade would slide kind of this direction on your body whenever you move it forward like that. Now when you reach up overhead, your arm bone's coming up. The model doesn't let the arm bone come up that way, but you can imagine it. If you go up like this, what you should be doing with your shoulder blade is shrugging it up like that. What a lot of people do is they just raise their arm up without the shrug part. And then when you reach back behind you, your shoulder blade should be pinching back towards your spine. You should feel like your shoulder blade's rolling back on your body. The reason for this is incredibly important and hardly ever talked about by, I'd say never talked about by healthcare professionals. The only ones that I hear talking about this are the ones that I personally trained, and they're very successful with their clients. The reason for this is if you think of the ball and socket joint, the shoulder joint is a ball and socket joint. Let me show you on the skeleton here without all the ligaments and everything. There's the socket, and there's the ball. When you move that shoulder blade along with the hand in the direction that it's going in, you move the socket quite a bit. And that socket is so important to move because if you don't move it forward, then what happens is, let's say this is your socket right here, and your arm's going forward like that, then the ball part of the ball and socket joint comes up to the edge and it starts to pinch tissues and overstretch things. But if you just move the socket because you're moving your shoulder blade, it's following your hand, then you don't put a lot of stress on the ball and socket joint. And you're less likely to tear something like a labrum or cause tendinitis or cause bursitis or aggravate the nerves or tear your rotator cuff, or if you're doing this for decades, get osteoarthritis somehow. So if you just follow the rule of the hand with your everyday movements, like if you're reaching forward to open a door, if you're reaching up to reach something high up, or like classic, screw in a light bulb, if you're reaching behind yourself, like you're reaching into the back seat if you're driving in a car, if you move your shoulder blade where your hand goes and all the in-betweens every single time, then you're going to be protecting your shoulder from being overstressed, over-tensioned, and causing any sort of tears, and this is what's going to protect you. It's going to bring your pain down almost immediately for a lot of people, and if you practice this and make this part of your everyday movement, then you're going to maintain great shoulder health the rest of your life indefinitely. Now, the one thing that I do need to stress is when it comes to exercise, I mean, like especially if you're lifting weights, because that's going to be straining on the shoulder joint, you still need to follow the rule of the hand 100%. And this goes against normal traditional weightlifting techniques often, because if you think of like the classic bench press, chest press, anything like that, a push-up even, very often traditional fitness people will say pinch your shoulder blades together then push forward, which is the opposite of the rule of the hand, because if your hands are going forward, your shoulder blades should go forward. And if you try this right now at home, if you think about it, the bench press exercise is supposed to work out your chest muscles and your triceps. But if you pinch your shoulder blades back and then try to push forward, you don't really work out your chest muscles. But if you just, without any weight, just sit wherever you're sitting or standing, wherever you are, just do that. you immediately will feel your chest muscles tighten up a little bit. Now imagine if you had weights, if you're actually in a bench press position or a push-up position, you're going to feel it even more. You're going to actually use your chest muscles the way that you're supposed to when doing a bench press. So it doesn't make sense to pinch your shoulder blades together and pin them down. It doesn't make sense at all to do that. Same thing with overhead activities. If you're going to push weights up overhead, you should be shrugging up to get that shoulder blade to come up, to get the socket to come up, so that you're stacking the ball on top of the socket rather than not moving the socket and straining all the tissues right here. And that's how you get impingement syndrome and tear rotator cuffs and strain nerves inside the shoulder. But if you just simply shrug every single time you pick a weight up overhead and you make that a rule that you follow, the rule of the hand, then you're going to be protecting your shoulders and you're going to have healthy shoulders the rest of your life. That, my friends, is a rule of the hand. Simple, but very powerful, very effective. And the hardest part of this is just remembering to do it and incorporating it into your everyday movements. Being able to do this even at home, even when you're doing little chores, little tasks at the grocery store, picking something off of the shelf, reaching into the grocery cart, reaching for door handles, putting on your clothes, taking off your clothes. Those are moments when you just have to be doing it on a consistent basis so that you're not straining your shoulders. Hey friends, if you thought this video was helpful for you, please give us a thumbs up. Share this with somebody who's suffering from one of those problems: arthritis in the shoulder, a rotator cuff tear, impingement, tendinitis, bursitis, nerve problems in the neck and shoulder. This rule of the hand helps all of those conditions. It is a foundational piece that we teach all our clients that are going through any one of our treatment approaches to fix shoulder problems. Drop a comment below if we've helped you out with the rule of the hand, or if you've done one of our programs like our rotator cuff program. Let us know if this has been beneficial for you, because there's so many people out there that are not doing this, and once they do it, they feel so much better. So you need to let them know that it helped you. And please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the helpful videos that we post each and every week. Thanks so much for watching, friends. I'll see you in the next video.